Buenos nachos, amigos, and welcome to Through the Tomes, Dungeons and Dragons adventure where a bunch of understanding and patient friends go on an adventure led by an amateur DM doing his first campaign, cobbled together with adventure settings, adventure modules, tools that are available out there to make D&D easier. This, that, and the other thing, and a whole lot of spit, duct tape, and magic and wishes. I'm PD Rave, your aforementioned amateur DM, and here with me.
Alexa, turn the gecko off. Okay.
Here with me is my party, my squad, my gang. We have playing playing Wind and Summer. We have Daisy.
Buddy, it's good to be back.
Yes. We've got playing Solero Italian, Drew.
Alexa, turn the gecko on.
Don't seduce the gecko.
Playing Toby Underborough, we've got Brett.
You think I'm gonna come with my prop and it's gonna be an Otani koozie where he's pitching on one side and hitting, but no, I have a live animal.
Yes.
The internet's favorite live animal. This live animal.
That live animal is so good.
He's like
so
a little
great.
gun.
He's gonna sit here now
Yeah, I'm
and watch this classic game from 2020.
I may or may not make that cat into an NPC in Wind and Summer's village.
Yeah.
Look at that foul ball.
Yes.
At Metro Stadium.
And last but not least, playing Lucius Zanero, we've got Matt.
I wish I had a cat, but instead I just have a set of DeWalt screwdriver bits.
Yeah.
And a Weehaw right angle, like kind of a ratchet thing.
That would be a regulation ratchet, a bit ratchet.
Yes.
It's a bit ratchet. Yes.
Yeah.
It's important to commit to the bit.
Unlike me,
Exactly.
who's a lot ratchet.
Yes.
Yada, 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 yada.
Yes.
I don't know
That
if my
body,
butt came through, but
No. Yeah. Enough. I've got props. Aside from finally picking up the roll and play set of world building and character building, which gives you a bunch of roll tables that you can use. People have probably seen these. They're advertised on Critical Role. It's a dope thing. This one's like for your character. This one gives you like a bunch of tables to just let, like, if you want to just roll prompts to help you build out your character and things like that. You have like an entire chapter for barbarians and mercenaries, entire chapter for fighters and soldiers. There's for wizards, for every class. You have paladins and holy knights, because it's kind of made for it to be for just building out your character background for anything. It's a bunch of fun props, and this one's for me, which I'm definitely going to be using. It helps with world building and location building and encounter building and things like that, and journaling and things like that. So in taverns, like a whole section for making a tavern, and you can roll on these tables and you have these prompts. It's so cool. But that's cool. That's neat. Whatever, that's a neat thing. You've seen that before. But the real star of what I have with me, it's that time again. It's that time again. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. It is time for the Spring Summer 2022 Uline catalog.
Oh wow. Get some bubble wrap.
Yes.
Get some
Great stuff.
Trash can.
Let's turn to a random page. We've got blackout laser labels. Quick lift laser labels. We've got glossy white laser labels.
Oh, I can already tell what's coming next.
Yes. Let me
Is
see.
somebody gonna pull out the McMasters?
Yes.
Find me a threaded screw in the tome of fasteners.
Top sheeting? We got some top
I need-
sheeting. We've got some stretch wrap machines. We've got
PD, have you
stretch wrap
found your-
turntables.
We have talked about this before. You need a pallet jack for not pallet jacking, but I know that is one of the things that you want. Have you
Yes,
found
I've
one in the Uline catalog that suits your needs?
Yeah, I want things like pallet jacks for stunts, and other things.
Doing hood rat things.
Yeah,
on
doing
your-
hood rat
on your-
things. We got bulk racks, and additional shelves, steel bulk racks.
Petey's a sucker for a nice rack.
Yes, we've got some floor cranes.
More of a butt guy.
There you go.
Yeah, you have to honor its body when you put it in the dumpster behind Stucky's.
Yes. Oh, we've got amber wide mouth glass jars. You got some clear ones as well. Some nice glass jars. Some glass dropper bottles. I love that I love Uline when you register a business and they just say, "Hey, you're a business," and they just send you the catalog.
I, in fact, get it for a business that doesn't exist here. So I also Uline every now and then. Pretty
Yeah.
great.
It's just, you know what, this is great.
costumes.
This is great for when you're on the turlet, you just look it through the catalog, see what they have in there. It's fun stuff. But besides how we're gonna stock the inevitable imaginary Rebelli Productions offices.
How's the wares? Our next podcast.
Yes, exactly. Slip sheets. So also I'm finishing the last Minky Boodle beer, raspberry sour ale. I'm nursing it because I'm probably not going to be drinking all that often, except maybe just while on the show. With the new medication, I need to not drink much. And I'm gonna be monitoring how I'm feeling. If feeling weird, I'll just stop. But
Yeah, if you're feeling weird.
in a bad way.
Oh.
Feeling weird. If I'm feeling weird in a good way, we're gonna roll on through it. But we're here to do D&D. We're here to do Dungeons and Dragons. But yeah, Mickey Boodle Strawberries Sour Ale. Beautiful stuff. All right. So to recap, we've been doing our Dungeons and Dragons adventure. If you're stumbling upon this as your first episode, it's set in the Wild Mount campaign setting. So to recap what the gang has been through, quite a few different adventures, but lately they've been preparing to get ready to set out on a trek, set out on a quick travel to from Port Damali out to Gordon, and ultimately to visit Summer's clan and family in her village to find out about what's happened to an artifact that was there, and it has apparently turned up missing. See what they can find out. See, parlay with the scholars from the Cobalt Soul that are hanging out there, finding out more information and studying and whatnot, and see what they can figure out. And also eventually heading up more north to find what clues they can find on a fugitive that was last seen up north in a village up there by the name of Roundabout Jen. Mainly just trying to find out what had happened, where she might have gone, just collecting info and whatnot. And as part of that, they had a couple of adventures, including a puppet shop that had an eldritch horror being summoned in the basement, but more importantly, a redskin devil that was impersonating a noble that who they investigated and possibly defeated much of his gang and disrupted his endeavors pertaining to impersonating the noble Midrin Jeskir. Though he did escape with his life, they did disrupt his operations. And then in preparing our last week's session, Summer found out that her tuition to the Library of the Cobalt Soul was paid off by a mysterious benefactor, presumed to be by eyewitnesses Midrin himself, and somewhat confirmed by Summer asking around at the Cobalt Soul, where she received a letter, presumably from Midrin. She went to Midrin, went to the Jeskirs, and Midrin knew nothing of it. Or I shouldn't spoil that, sorry. That conversation happened in private, but, kind of like that. But let's say Summer had a conversation with Midrin away from the gang, and found out some things, and now is wondering at the mystery of the original letter that she received from this Midrin. And then we joined the gang after they kind of like are kindly let out by the Jeskirs, since they're going to be busy doing a couple activities. And what else? I think if I remember correctly, if I remember some of the things that I might have forgotten to bring up that time that you had about the conversation you had with Midrin, I'll let you know. I think at some point if I didn't mention it last session, he would have mentioned something about I'll say it out now because it's not super important, but that he had his holdings in his estate does offer scholarships to various places, including the Cobalt Soul, and the let me see, the academy in the Soldiers Academy, and which I believe is in Rexentrum, and a couple other places of higher learning. But there's usually a more formal process. It wouldn't be just randomly paying off somebody. They'd be like, you'd apply like for a scholarship.
Makes sense.
But yeah. And what else? I think I had something else that they may have said, but I don't remember.
Summer partied at the Loving Spoon and had shots.
Yes. And then
shots.
And then supposedly, saw that red-skinned figure, red-skinned devil, staring her down before he quickly disappeared in the throngs of the crowd, presumably in disguise.
Seen it.
Yeah. And yeah, that's now now the party is this kind of like they said bye to the Jaskiers and are walking away from their estate. What do you guys do? What do you guys discuss?
Midrin gave us a letter.
Yes.
I have notes offering us a carriage and safe passage to Guarden.
Yes.
How do we take action on that?
You would, I think. Oh yeah. So he would say that you would go see Tamron at the stables. He would have told you. Let me see the name I put it. The Gilded Shoes. That is the one of the stables. I think somewhere in. Let me see where on the map it would be.
Toby has a story about a guy from Guarden. He was a fisherman.
Yes.
He was he wore a yellow jacket and had a big white beard.
Mm-hmm.
As as Toby uses his skill to have a story to say about any
Yes.
topic.
Exactly.
I'm still not like I'm still a little antsy about the safety of these people.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at some point we can't hold ourselves responsible. Like I don't know if we can go through and vet every single member of their staff,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure how to. I feel like we ought to be doing a little something extra. Do any of us have like detect evil?
Ah,
Me.
Toby is notoriously bad at judging people. He will talk to you about his former partners all the time.
Hit you in the ass with a sling.
My basic deception is high, but I don't have anything about detect evil.
Let's see.
It would be
You're the wrong. Yeah, you're the wrong kind of
Right.
dude.
Yeah.
The only person that would mortal have it.
Let me see. Does he prepare?
I don't know artificers. They have a detect.
Let me double check in his preparable spells.
Yeah, because can't he just
you can
find a philosopher's stone somewhere and
While he's checking, Brett, did you spot the fucking TikTok I sent in goddamn Discord?
Oh, I did not.
I keep sending. This guy keeps coming up on my TikTok, and he does a lot of funny bard shit on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
And because I'm on D&D TikTok,
Oh yeah.
of course.
Oh, of course you are.
Yeah.
As
Kurt,
one is.
Yeah, Kurt's hilarious.
Yeah.
I've seen quite a bit of his stuff.
Oh wait, no, I actually did see that. Yes.
All right, let's
That's
see.
good stuff.
But yeah, Mortal's like, unfortunately, I don't really have the expertise on that. Now that I think of this, I'm definitely not prepared now, but I don't believe I have the expertise on that to prepare it even on another day. Yeah, he doesn't have it in his spell list.
I mean, I can find things, and I can find magic. I can't find alignment.
You should be able to, and if you check manage spells,
I took things that I figured that Toby would know,
yeah,
not things that would be cool for D&D.
Yeah, which is how you play D&D.
Correct.
Yeah, that's fair.
Prepared. So, poison and disease.
I mean, that's how you play D&D the right way.
Yeah, it's more fun this way.
You have to min-max. What are you doing?
If we were min-maxing, we did it wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What, you mean having a bunch of medium and lower armored characters is not advantageous?
Not having an actual wizard, not having an actual fighter. Yeah, that's real great.
Or an actual cleric.
Yeah. Yes. We're the leftovers.
Exactly.
Wait, we're the island of misfit toys.
Yes.
Yes.
The party of
We never
misfit
made that
toys.
connection.
Yes. But yeah,
We die like a party built with a bunch of support characters.
and more was like, Summer, did you find out anything about the what did you guys talk about with Midrin? What did you talk with Midrin about? We were
So, PD, where's the party right now? Where are we?
You guys are, I mean, wherever you want to be. You can. I presume you're kind of walking away from the or like just walking either away or at least around the estate and just kind of like walking a little, not too far.
We just finished talking to the couple in their house, right?
And they kind of send you off with fairly
Okay.
well,
Okay, yeah. So as long as it looks like, I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking, Summer's thinking, if it's like a safe looking area
Yeah.
that we're kind of in-ish, whatever, I
You're
will
kind of
tell
like out in the
everybody.
street, but you can like say find an alley or be among a crowd. You could find an alley to duck into, find a crowd to kind of mingle in through, just so that you're in the middle of a crowd of people,
Yeah.
and maybe
That's
get
what I'm
lost.
thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
If there's like a crowded kind of street or something, I can kind of pull everybody off to the side.
Yeah, you find like since it's at this point early afternoon, you can easily find like a street with like a few eateries and restaurants and with some outdoor seating, and people kind of like meandering here and there, some stalls, and there's a lot of people like wandering from stalls to stall, having conversation in big groups, and like some of those scenes, and I keep thinking of The Witcher, but you like, where everybody's just kind of out and about. There's maybe a band playing in the corner, you hear le, 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 le. Or you hear the Gwent theme. You hear the Gwent theme in the background. It's always the Gwent theme. But yeah, like like maybe somebody's like somebody's playing, and there's like a couple dancing, and like an older man dancing with pop, presumably like his niece, and a couple of like kids there, and just kind of like, and then there's conversation and laughter and things like that. So if you were to speak in a more hushed tone, and directly at each other, you could probably get lost in the murmur of the crowd if somebody's not targeting you.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I'll just kind of look around and kind of pull everybody off to what looks like a cozy little side next to a stall or building or something. And what I want to do is pull out the letter that I got initially and show everybody.
Do you want to look out to see if anybody's
Sure.
making eyes at you?
Do I need to roll like a perception?
Yeah, perception check.
Can I
Making
help
eyes.
with that?
Yeah, you can both help out. Yeah.
Like if I know that
okay.
there's something to be looking for, then I'm gonna be like,
yeah.
So
I would 100% help. I got a +5 to that. Perception
You
check.
can press the plus if you hover over the result in the chat. I would say you have a good look around, and from what you can tell, there's, I mean, other than like maybe the normal, like when you walk by somebody that like look and it's just like, oh, those interesting people, some maybe an occasional person making eyes at you, like, but it's just a dude being creepy male gaze stuff, but ultimately nothing really. Since let me see, oh god, Lucius has his passive perception.
yeah.
Let me sneak you in over here. You look around, and you really see absolutely nothing.
Okay.
You just kind of like look around. There's the same thing you see there. You notice like a lot of interesting, weird people, and maybe some people are looking at you, but mostly because you're all weird. Mostly just kind of keeping you in here for a little bit longer, just so that they wonder what we're talking about.
Okay, excellent. Maybe they're looking at us a little weird because it's like, why are there 5 weirdos and a goat?
Yeah, exactly.
A pseudo dragon,
like there's some
huddled
kids
up in an alley talking quietly to each other.
Yeah, exactly. They're up by a stall. Yeah, and some kids looking at the goat.
Yeah.
All right, I'll bring you back.
Like
All right.
makes the no, I'm talking about Drive to Survive. Goddamn! Oh, sorry. Let's go back.
I have reason to believe that that's not the case.
Yes.
I think we're clear.
Okay. But yeah, as you were saying, Summer.
Okay, so we have pull everyone to the side. kind of discreetly pull out this letter and say, okay, so when I went to the Cobalt Soul yesterday, I was given this letter and I was told Midrin left it for me. And the letter basically says that he paid my tuition and research fees and all of this stuff that would have cost tons of money. So when I spoke, that's why I went to see Midrin yesterday to confirm, like, because it just seemed a little weird. Like, why would he do this? And yeah, this is not him, guys. He totally did not do this. This is not his handwriting. And so I show them the letter, and then PD, I don't know if you want to share the document you shared with me.
Let me see.
Toby says this sounds a lot like a children's story I knew. Harold the Potter.
Because PD, I have the document saved, so I could always share it with everyone if needed.
Do you have the PDFAs?
Yeah. You want me to share it?
Yeah, you can put it in the text or voice chat.
Sure thing.
So
One moment, guys.
Harold the Potter
first.
goes to Sowsboil.
Because I could also just find it.
But yeah, so Midrin noticed something kind of weird about it. I didn't catch the first time. One moment.
Yes.
One moment.
Please
It's
explain.
loading. Is it going? Did it go? Did it
Oh,
go
God.
through?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Jesus, we got visual aids.
Yeah.
There you go. You will notice that there are some words that should not be capitalized that are capitalized.
Mm.
There are also words that should probably be capitalized that are not.
Is this a phishing scam?
You know, I don't know.
Did I
There's
see
something
some bad-
fishy about it.
Bad grammar is like.
No. So this letter was not from Midrin.
Where did
I
you
don't
go?
know who paid my tuition fees. Kind of
Oh.
weird. And I've kind of been looking over this, and you guys know how much I love puzzles. But this one's got me a little stumped.
Hang on a minute, PD. Does this piece of paper look funny to me at all?
I mean, so if you want to do an either investigation or straight intelligence, I don't know if you have investigation. I'll say investigation.
My passive investigation is 18.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry. Yeah, let me just do this.
So, not to further throw coals on the fire, but are we sure that it's not the real Midrin who wrote this, and the one you were talking to was an imposter?
Man, I didn't think about that.
So I rolled a 16.
Yeah, you got an 18. I would say you glance and look over the letter, and I'll let you figure out how to use the information. But you notice that as you go down, each word that is capitalized starts to make a sentence. And
We got some steganography here. Oh boy,
if
somebody
you take the
cut out
words. You notice that, yeah, if you take like the word itself and you go to the next that's a word that's capitalized, even if it's in the beginning, it starts it makes a sentence and it starts to add up together. So if
Okay,
you were to
well,
like write it down to the side,
I am going to share. Hey guys, I think I noticed something funny. I'm just a slack-jawed musician here, but I have a feeling we got ourselves a puzzle. Look at these capitalized letters. See that, Chavo?
yeah.
Let's work this out.
So you figure out that if you were to like, you start thinking like you want to write down the each word that is capitalized.
Well, I'm gonna find a stick and write in the dirt because I don't think we have parchment and a writing utensil.
Come on, you're a bard. Don't you have something that you use?
You have some
jot
parchments
down
and
musical notes.
you have some parchment.
Okay, I
and
pull
some,
out
like,
my
you-
skinned mole and that I take
But
my
yeah, you
notes.
have like parchments and sheets and things, and then you have like a piece of charcoal that you can use if you ever need to write like.
I use the Portamale number system. I don't actually read sheet music.
Yeah.
No.
But you just write whatever ideas you have with that.
Okay, so I need an actual piece of paper because my brain doesn't work that well. Somebody else already working this one out?
I'm typing.
Well, just
Okay, thank you.
okay.
Because I will. Toby, the genius, the brain genius over here, says this looks like a not even a Caesar cipher. It's like this is a puzzle from somebody who wants us to know that this is a puzzle.
Adventure.
This is like a file inside of a cake.
Yes. Yeah.
The one thing that kind of confuses me is
I think I
there's
got
that
right.
one your that looks like it should be in there, but it doesn't really make sense. Like, I know who you are, your. I know who you all are, your.
I know who you all are. Your. I think. Let's see.
Oh wait, no, hold on.
Okay, that your. I'll say that one is not capitalized.
Okay.
It may have changed it on me, so ignore
Does
that.
Somebody know what we did last summer?
There.
So if you ignore that your.
Last summer. Oh. Nice job.
Scribbling in the corner as
I literally wrote down like all these letters, and then I was like, oh, the ones that shouldn't be capitalized. Yeah, I didn't even think like, oh, just take the entire word.
Oh, you just needed that musician to take a look over it. You know, that Bardley man.
Summer's good at puzzling, but Daisy.
Oh, you were studying the fist. I was reading books.
Yes.
Oh.
So what do you? Yes.
I know. Who you
so
all
what do you
are.
got? Let's discuss this, folks.
Yeah. So what did you read out? Summer was saying it.
I know who you all are. Our business is not done. I will hunt you down. You will pay eventually.
Yeah. Whoa. That's
heavy.
Yeah.
Like, that's so.
Yeah, and then like Mortal looks like and it also has some details on you here that I don't
Behind
think
the
you
scenes,
talked
I
about.
thought we were gonna have a prop guest come and join us and like know who we are.
Yeah.
But no, Deej just clicked on accidentally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his timing for
I was like, oh
for being
god, Deej
creepy
was gonna
good.
come for us.
Like I thought for sure. I was like, oh boy.
I heard the ding, like, who's joining the call? like this is all of us. Like, what's going on? Oh.
That's hilarious.
Glad we all had the same thought.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
was,
I'm like,
oh
wow,
god, what did
Petey
Petey
really held out on us?
like? When did Petey and Deej talk, and like, how is this working?
Yes. So yeah, that was awesome. Okay, so we've got somebody. Toby, this does not look good. Somebody really wants us to know this. This isn't the kind of message that you want to get across like subtly. Does nobody here necessarily has anybody with like a vengeful like hatred towards them that they've been hanging on to that we don't know about, right? Because I don't. I
mean, there's.
And I know I've known Wind and Summer for quite some time. I don't remember any. But is there information that we should know?
I accidentally stole a guy's lettuce one time a few years ago, but I don't think that was. We didn't really have an argument. It was kind of apologize, and I bought him a lettuce.
The guy with the cabbage.
Oh, I mean, if you bought him a lettuce, like take a lettuce, leave a lettuce. Like it's not that's not like I will find you and murder you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It'd be more expensive for ink than it would be to replace a lettuce.
Yeah. I mean, given the second paragraph of this letter, just really going into detail about, all the employees that can feed their families and not worry about otherworldly demons hurting their friends or killing their loved ones. I feel like that's the the who's in most danger. I hope you will remember the lives you've affected.
I mean, I affect a lot of lives, but
yeah, it's not a great situation.
No.
All around. This one's had me kind of stumped. Like,
Yeah.
Toby's used his one brain juice for the day.
So, I mean, you saw the demon at the bar. You get this letter. I mean, it's not that big of a leap to say the letter's from that demon.
Well,
but yeah, the Solera,
Mortal
when you...
comes in with a, well, actually, he's a devil.
Well, I mean, okay, so we've got this devil who's trying to tell us something in the most subtle, beat around the bush way. That's confusing Toby. Like, he could just, like, if we could get got at any time by this devil. But we are not. He wants to send us a letter to warn us that, like, okay, I don't know.
And he, like,
I'm
paid me
confused.
tuition? What?
Yeah,
Like,
and then, like, there's free schooling going on here. Like, I'm still paying my Bard college loans.
I mean, is the answer then that...
And I'm 86 years old.
We see is the answer then that we see what's happening, and we know if we step into this, like, we're stepping into a fight. We can step in knowing we're going into a fight, right?
I mean, you could say that we are going to be stepping into hell.
Yes.
Right. But, like, that's the thing. It's like, we know. So, like, it's not... Part of doing it this way is thinking we're not going to catch it and catching us in the element of surprise, right?
Yeah.
He's now lost the surprise. Go in there ready to go.
Yeah.
The mortal, or who's the bookish one? Who knows? Tell me who know. Well, you're a ranger. Do you know anything about devils that I should know? Because I'm just a simple country bard. But like, is this standard business for devils to be doing this? Do we like?
I mean, if somebody wants to do
weird.
Either a history check or what do you want to call it?
Oh, no, I'm the one.
Arcana check, or
I mean, I'll do it. I'll do a history check real quick.
All of these are bad.
Do I know anything about this? Let me think on this for a second. There we go. Oh damn, that rolled a million times, but I rolled a bunch.
20.
Yeah,
They're all good.
Yeah,
20, 20 and 22. That's nice.
That was the wrong button until it wasn't.
Yes. You know, I mean, especially in story, again, it all comes down to stories. For you, obviously, stories, songs, ballads, books from other bards that you've read, and it's detailed because a lot of those bards really go into and find that information, and you know there's a lot of detailed research by bards.
I mean, I know of one bard that told me a tale about the time a devil tried to gamble away a fiddle made of solid gold.
Yeah,
in great detail.
Yes, the devil went down to Nicodranus. Yeah.
Yes, fire shot from his fingertips. That's how detailed he gets.
But so you know that
so I know some.
You know quite a bit. You know that devils are generally considered as historically, you know, obviously, it's not fair to make assumptions, but generally, you found that devils have been considered historically to be profoundly evil. You know, live in the nine hells.
Do I know that you need kinds of weapons to do damage to them?
Yeah. So you know, like,
cool. Yes. Let's not go clubbing this thing.
Yeah. You know the particular ones. You know that I think with devils, if you kill them, they just go back to their plane. They go back to hell.
Go to hell.
Yes. So even like say now that you think about it, if you had killed it, he would have just gone back. So even if he had killed it, he could have come back, just eventually. But the that they are about protecting material wealth, as well as like spiritual wealth. They are they hate demons, things like that. They are known to be they're known to hold grudges, like deeply hold grudges, and they're known for being very conniving, manipulative. At least the particularly evil ones, they're very good at they're very hierarchical. They're very they love making deals, tricking people into deals, so, get buying souls and whatnot. They're capable of killing for no reason. They, at least again historically, that's the stories have been told in that way. Things like that. They're extremely vindictive and lack the ability to accept their own mistakes. A lot of them, at least, obviously these are generalizations, but generally this is what's been told, and stories have been told on that. They look to blame others for their setbacks. And they're when things don't go their way, they get very pissy about it. And they get very vengeful about it.
This letter seems like it's somebody who's pissy that didn't get their way.
Yeah.
I have a history of all of the things that Petey just said. I relate to the rest of them.
Yeah.
We don't have a holy man around here.
We think about it, I mean, we went to the Devil's Nook, right, to do some investigations to find Midrin. So maybe there was something there that we interrupted the business, and maybe that's, I'm assuming, what the devil has gotten pissy about.
You step on a devil's toes, they get mad at you, they kill a bunch of Taylor Swifts. This devil's going to be a problem, but I don't know if this is going to. This sounds like something that might come up as a nagging issue. If we've got a vindictive devil on our trail, that doesn't want to come guns blazing.
So who? Remind me. We're talking about going north. Who's paying for that and why?
Midrin. I think Summer might have relayed it, but Midrin offered to he and I'll remind you, because I assume Summer would have relayed this, but he wrote up a write up to help hook you guys up with just a carriage, basic carriage from his friend who works the stables, just to make sure you guys get up there safely with somebody that who drives that road regularly. And hopefully, so somebody who drives that road regularly. It's not a he definitely relayed that it's not a huge cost thing. It's
right.
You're getting
so
safe.
Is it it was the Midrin that we talked to?
Presumably, I think I don't remember if Summer had a insight check, but I think she did, and she couldn't detect anything untoward or out of place.
Yeah. So, but the letter was waiting for her at the Cobalt Soul, right?
Yeah, the one from not Midrin.
But the passage north was not waiting for her.
No, he quickly. It's like,
okay, cool.
This is a part of the conversation here. I'm gonna assume Summer says it, but relays the information.
Yeah, totally.
that he's like, oh, that doesn't look like my handwriting. Here, I'll show you. And let me. I was thinking of doing. Oh, you guys are traveling. Let me do you guys a favor, and it's not a huge cost thing, but
Gotcha.
help you guys out, and I'll give you like an example of my handwriting in the process.
Right.
So like,
it seemed genuine.
Yeah. So he just kind of
For what
wrote
it's worth.
it down while they were talking, and just like, hey, and I was meaning
Sure.
to send and he relayed that he was also meaning to kind of send a letter to his friend to kind of like reach out and say like, oh, hey, in the process. So he's like knocking down 3 birds with 1 stone with that letter. Like,
Right.
give you the handwriting comparison, hook you up with some things, not huge, but that could be useful, in just this little, because it's only to Gordon, and you guys are going to be on your own as far as traveling more north anyways, but it's an easy travel to Gordon, and to reach out to a friend.
PD, correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't we headed north to Gordon area anyway, because like that was the last sighting of Roundabout Jen?
No, you were getting to Gordon because that would have been this, because I don't know if it was relayed exactly in game, but I'm gonna say that you talk to people, and Gordon would be your stopover point, because it's a safe town, it's a city. Stop in there, rest. You'll probably stop multiple because it's gonna take like a couple weeks to get there because it's quite a bit of distance. But it's where the Gilded roadway goes. Let me see the name. The Gilded Roadway. Yeah, I had it right. That goes from all the way down the Menagerie Coast. That goes all the way down to like Nicodanus and all the place, and that's pretty well traveled. That's a highway that's pretty well traveled. Then it so that's safer, and it's a good way. And then you were gonna go from Gordon to your village, and then further north, I gotta look up the name of the town, but further north to the village that you were gonna find out information on Roundabout Jen.
Hey.
Yeah, that's as far as you recall. Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm a little bit afraid to go north. At least without resolving this first. Granted, resolving it may take quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn because I'm thinking like the way the letter's written, like was it written that way like just as a distraction? To make it sound, I don't know, like, oh, you saved the workers, and they can feed their families. Or the person who actually wrote it, like you were saying, do you think there's an ulterior motive there? Because we know the hidden message, so like it kind of sounds like this person's after us.
The way I read it is that the obvious message is subtext for the hidden message.
Yeah.
So like that. you're gonna what was it? Our business is not done. You will pay eventually, and goes on and on about the workers and their families and their friends. And so to me, that's kind of like
this devil's like assuming a lot out of us.
Yeah.
Like, no, it makes sense. It makes sense that we're being strong-armed into being told that we are both going to get got, and it's going to cost people.
Yeah, exactly. Is there your priest friend, is he back in I'm blanking. The first town we were in.
Oh
Palma
my god.
But
Oh,
How'd we forget that
Berlin,
name?
I was gonna
Berlin
say
Tidewater.
Flower Town. Like,
Palma Flora. I
Berlin
think
Tide Bear.
yes.
Bear, not Tidewater.
Tide Pods. Berlin Tide Pods.
Blackwater?
Tied stick.
Yes.
The shit that's tied to a stick.
If you're having trouble remembering Daisy, I believe he's still at the Sunfall Sanctuary in Port Damali. It's where he kind of like set up shop and everything.
Okay.
Because I'm wondering if we could get him or someone else and just kind of, if we can find someone who does have detect evil and can kind of go around
priest.
and just
A young priest and an old priest.
Yeah, and an old priest got to exercise this
right.
devil.
Can someone like trace? Isn't there like a
I can.
ability spell?
I
Is that
mean,
like a Harry Potter thing?
yeah, it's a Harry Potter. It's the Herald the Potter. Yeah,
Like,
no.
Detect origin, right? You cast a spell on it and it goes back to its owner. Like who wrote the letter?
I can locate
Magic.
an object. I can. I can. Yeah, I can locate an object. I can tell you what a thing is. That's the extent of Toby's.
Yes.
Those are things that are useful to me. I'm not normally trying to track a dude down.
Yeah.
Certainly not a devil.
If you want to do an Arcana check,
I'm.
Go for it.
Wait, who's doing the
I'm
Arcana?
wise. I'm not intelligent.
I just did it.
Hey, as far as you can recall in this quick thing, you don't know a lot about the arcane. You mostly feel your magic, but
yeah, I do.
What would make most sense to just immediately as a quick idea for this object would be something to scry on somebody with, if anything. But chances are none of you know how to scry. At least not yet. Like maybe Lucius might be able to know in the future. I don't remember if it's a druid spell, but
Oh shoot.
But using
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Hey, guys, have you ever thought about us finding somebody who, has one of them their Palantir thingies? The scrying eye, this is what it sounds like when doves scry.
Your scrying eye.
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go.
So it's something that
Means-
actually both you and Lucius could know in the future. Scrying. It is a bard and
you
druid
guys
spell.
could know this stuff, but I don't know if you
But
do.
it's a 5th level spell.
But I know it's a 5th level spell because I really know this Arcana.
But
Even
well,
But I only learned it because I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express.
yeah.
So that's the end of my
you know
knowledge.
that it's like it's high level stuff. Like it's like like above
The
your
last
head.
guy that
at
I
this-
saw do it tipped me really well and was wearing fancy robes. So I assume that it takes more learning than we have.
Yeah.
So we need to find a holy man, I would think, or perhaps Steve's wizard for hire. I don't know. What do we got? Like ideas?
There's someone at the Cobalt Soul that told me I could send like a sending message to her if I needed to, only during business hours. I'm pretty sure that was the deal.
Is
But I
this
think
under the purview of
scry.
that person?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to you got to be from the right side of town to know, or you got to be praying to the right gods, or
you know that I think the people I think or at least anybody in Cobalt Soul, you can get somebody to do a sending spell to them.
we have plenty of money to pay somebody if that's what it takes to get them to do what we want.
That, a lot of the sages from the Cobalt
And they'd
Soul
probably
will
be
know
on
that.
our side if we tell them the context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should find somebody to find somebody.
Yeah. And
With
you
that
know, if you
plan.
need to, if you know that once you meet up with the people studying things at your village, the sages there would know the sending, and because that's how they've been relaying information back to the Cobalt Soul and things about what they've been researching. Yeah.
So to the Cobalt Soul.
Yeah, let's make it quick. We're on a time crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys head to the Cobalt Soul.
The devil is in the details. Episode title.
Yeah. So yeah, so you guys head up to the Cobalt Soul. I think it's up in, it's in the, it's here in the oh god, I forget, I almost forget the here in the Crescents. Yes, the yeah, I believe so. Unless, but wherever it is, you head over to the Cobalt Soul. It's a familiar, sizable library. You head into the front door, the big hall with many books. Obviously, you head in there. What did you want to do? Who did you want to find?
I don't recall her name, but I remember she had olive skin with like some white patches and dark hair and dark eyes. I think she had like a white streak in her hair.
Let me see. It would be let's see, I remember her, find her name, but it'd be the that's a dream. I think it's in I'll look in your notes.
I'm looking through my is it Tanara?
I think so. Yeah, so Tanara. Yeah, something like that.
Is Tanara a guy?
Tanara is a woman.
Okay.
And there's
yeah, because Tanara is the person that told me about my tuition fees being paid off.
Yeah, like she told you what she saw. Holly would be the one that initially told you when she invited you to the party.
Yeah. Okay.
But Tanara, I believe, was the one that told you about what she saw of seeing the guy that matched the description. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Tanara, archivist. If it wasn't her name before, it's her name now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It was probably, I remember it being similar, if not that exact word.
Okay.
The one
well,
we're talking
canon
about.
now.
Yeah. Yeah, you can find her. She's you kind of like escort everyone, and you kind of just let them know, I'll keep an eye on these guys. We're just here to see somebody, and it's like they let you go through, and you
flash
see
my cool stash.
Yeah. And Tanara is, you go up, you kind of look through, go further, probably halfway through, you turn to your right, you see Tanara up on one of the rolling ladders, like getting and looking at something about 4 levels up, yeah, like a few levels up, as far as a few rows up, pretty high up there. But she's up there, like looking at a couple of books, trying to get, scan through them. And yeah, she looks down and is like, "Oh, hey, Summer. Well, hey, everyone else. I'll be right down. This is like she puts the oh yes, grabs the book from up there and kind of like gingerly kind of trots down with her kind of like her arquebus robes kind of like swaying back and forth as she kind of like gingerly trots down the ladder or the stairs. Well, it's nice to see you again. What what can I help you guys out with? Did you guys need anything?
So
Yeah.
showed my friends the letter that you gave me.
But Tori gave you the letter though.
Tori gave me, thank you. And we're hoping maybe you can help us out with something.
What is the deal with the letter?
It's not from who it says it's from. We have confirmed that, and we were hoping to possibly locate the person who wrote this letter.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Let's see. Is it all right if I see the letter?
Yes, absolutely.
And you kind of like you pull out the letter and you bring it to her. It's like, oh, interesting.
I do not tell her about the secret message.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah. It's like, okay. I mean, yeah, I see there's like a weird capitalizing. I imagine you guys figured out the whatever was going on in here.
Brett, you're muted. You said, God damn it. Or read your lips.
God damn it.
I'm over here talking about boomers putting ellipses in their text messages, and I'm like,
oh my god. I
capitalizing
ran
things.
across a wonderful thread on the Steel Guitar forum that was just
I can only imagine.
Great boomer grammar.
Oh yeah. So we're reading devils are the boomers of the fantasy races.
Oh,
God, the description matches. It's like, okay, let me think.
Why are these devils really into Woody Guthrie? Why don't they not understand this? You know, they don't understand what that Springsteen song was about. Like, you know.
Let's see.
This halberd kills fascists.
Yes, this loot.
This Beck to Corbin. No, well, I'm stuck in polearm land.
Oh yeah,
obviously. I want to start like calling my guitar in real life instead of my axe. You know, I'm rocking my polearm.
Okay.
My Beck to Corbin. Like whistle.
Okay. As I quickly look up what could be useful information.
Other of my favorite pole arms include the military fork. That's a pretty douchey. The human catcher from the second edition arms and equipment guide, which is essentially the thing that you catch dogs with, but for humanoids. Like the little rope with the pole with the lasso on the end of it. Like, if I wasn't a halfling, that'd be Toby's go-to. He just knows, but the physics, leverage does not work for Toby.
Yes.
It turns Toby into a catapult when you have one of those things. You catch a man and he just picks it up and flings me over their shoulder. So.
Yeah.
I can keep filling, Petey. I can talk about pole arms for days.
She looks over the ladder and thinks about like what kind of like and just kind of like contemplates it, and things like, well, identifying it would only really identify its characteristics. Like detect locate object would be finding it more than anything else. Somebody would like researching it, maybe, but that legend lore only really works with books. If unless we had I think unless we had comparing something to compare it, or we can find something that was written in the in the original person's handwriting that we know is from that person that we can compare to.
Well,
other or well, I mean the person that actually wrote this letter, that we can find the matching letter from a known source, or
so
matching.
You're telling us we're boned unless we have a devil's handwriting,
or scrying. There's you can scry it with this as a focus. This will be difficult if you don't know the person, but if you've met this person and they are in our plane, it could be scryed on by a sufficiently skilled a spellcaster.
Define met.
Met in person, if in any capacity, like you've had close vicinity. Usually that gives you enough of a connection to be able to connect your mind to that individual on an arcane level for the scrying spell. That helps. It's not impossible without that, but it's a lot more difficult. Their resistance to it, their mental resistance to being scryed upon, is stronger if you don't have that connection. So, yeah. This whatever.
So
is this person is this somebody threatening you, Summer? I didn't want to like really look at the letter. I just was trying to like see if I can just ascertain something from a glance, and trying to ascertain something from just like eyeballing it. And she hands you back kind of folds it and hands you back the letter.
Yeah, not just me, but like all of my pals are being threatened with this technically. So that's why we're and it might not be us. It might be larger than us, is where there might be more people in danger, which is why we came right here to see if someone could help us.
And did they not to, because I don't want to, cause I haven't really said much about what they said specifically, but are they saying they're gonna attack you, or like or like say anything specific, or you just?
I mean, I would just read the message. I think it's not like it.
Okay, yeah. So I can point it out. I'll unfold the letter and show her. Okay, so if you look at all these capitalized words, it spells out, I know who you all are. Our business is not done. I will hunt you down. You will pay eventually. So on our last adventure, we kind of got into some stuff, perhaps with a devil.
Oh, devils.
Actually, it wasn't even the last adventure. It was the previous one, right? Because last one was the evil puppets and the... Yeah. Dang, we
that
get
was
around,
a different
guys.
kind of horror from a different kind of plane.
Yes. Yeah.
It's complicated.
Okay. Well, I mean, is well, what? Yeah, it says it says eventually.
Yeah.
I wonder. I mean, I wonder if that maybe like this is meant to keep you on edge more than having a specific timetable. to like
Also, our other fear with it was where they talk about like the safety of the employees. Like, what if
I'm looking through
they're in
this.
danger?
Like they might use them to get to you or get to whoever.
Yeah.
If devils, they like vengeance. They like getting back at people that have wronged them, even in a small way. And they like to do it in the most thorough way. I almost hate to say, but I think the only thing that you might have going for you with this is time. Is because
as in we have all the time in the world, or we need to make quick time?
I would say you have enough time until he feels he's done playing with his food. Which might be some time, because devils also think very highly of themselves. He probably doesn't have as much of, or they, I don't know if it was like a male or female or otherwise devil, but they probably don't have as much of a, control over you, or they're not as powerful as they probably think they are, but they might still be. I wouldn't discount them, but they also feel themselves, like I said, like well, no offense intended, but like a cat playing with its food.
No offense taken.
Yeah. Like, just kind of like, oh, I have you, I'm going to threaten you, I'm going to swat at you, I'm going to leer at you, I'm going to do these things, and I'm going to enjoy it and make you scared or miserable, or, make you worried. Maybe. I don't know. Like, that's all I could think of. Like, from I don't know a lot about devils. Like, mostly, it's not really something I super studied. But you with here, you study everything at least a little bit, so I know that much. But I that's all I can really think of. I don't know. I'm sorry I couldn't be more of a help, but hopefully that can help out a little.
Appreciate your perspective. I mean, since we're kind of sharing the whole story, now I'm curious, does the name Balgaloth mean anything to you? I think I pronounced that right.
She looks at like, oh, like she was like perplexed, and like you just said random words. Like,
okay,
yeah, so Lothlorien elf from the Third Age. From a
like
book that
sounds like a mean
that
guy's
is the
name.
most fantasy name ever. Yeah.
That sounds like a mean guy's name, I guess.
Yes, it does. If I was naming a mean guy, I couldn't do that good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's nothing comes to mind. Like I said, I know general stuff about devils, but it's not really been what I've focused on. It's kind of scary. It's 9 hells and all that.
It's kind of scary.
Like she shivers, like, oh, weird. I can't stand devils or demons. Oh, gives me the willies.
Do we have any books here?
Oh, I imagine. Yeah, I imagine we have like books, a whole section, right down that where there's that section is on devils, and specifically it's connected over to general information on the 9 hells, and other planes. It's gonna be, it kind of flows really well with our extra planal section, and like a hole there. So there's the 9 hells and then devils and demons follows from that. But we have a couple aisles over, and she points like a few rows that way. It's like I would say like 6 rows down that way over on the other side of the hall. Just there's a couple sections where it's like you've got devils and stuff like that.
Tanara, appreciate the help.
It's like she kind of like holds her hand out. It's like and kind of like holds her hand out and puts her hand like on your arm. It's like, stay safe. Like if you ever need help or a safe place to be, we have here. You have, and I can tell you for sure, you have anywhere the Cobalt Soul, you can feel safe. There's any particular library or archive, you got a ton of monks and sages and ready to keep you safe, keep you housed.
You
appreciate. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have trouble not worrying for a little bit. So, but I trust
put
you.
The burden on you.
It's okay. I'd rather worry than not care. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will let you get back to your putting away of the books.
Yeah. All right. I have work to do.
Yeah. I'm hoping maybe Immortal might be interested in going to the Devil section, and maybe we can do some light research before we head out, if you guys think that's an okay plan.
Okay.
There's a particular book I want to find.
Yes.
Called Devils for Dummies.
Yes. Yeah, you kind of like walk over, however many of you decide want to walk over that way. Whoever doesn't can just like hang around, and you might get a guide follow you if you're doing something else, but like a Cobalt Soul archivist that will guide and escort you. So who's in I'm just gonna presume it's just a Summer and Mortal and maybe a couple hangers on.
Anybody else want to do some devil research?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like a decent lead.
We could go back to the Devil's Nook and see if we can get any of his writing.
Ooh. How long has it been since we were there? I was looking at my notes.
I'm gonna say, so it's gonna be. Let me look at the calendar because it's gonna be May. I think it was like a couple days before Lucius got back.
That's what I was. Yeah, like Lucius, were you even there for the?
No,
for that?
He wasn't for that adventure.
Oh God, with the horse pitchfork thing, pitchfork of horse command.
Yes.
God, that was
Yes. So it's been like 5 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that idea. Do we want to travel together or split up?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sorry.
Yes.
Did she say? Did she say whether we can do like a reverse scry without knowing more about the devil?
She mentioned that you can scry if you have scrying as a spell. The fact that you if you've had you've personally been in their vicinity of any individual that helps.
Right.
If you know of them, at least that you can at least try. You can certainly try. And having an object helps.
Right. But there's not like a caller ID reverse. There's not a reverse trace.
Or 69 or whatever it is.
No.
Yeah.
You can I mean
Nice.
what did she mention? You can try it in an Arcana check if you're trying to think it up.
Sure.
Need a hand with that?
I would love a hand.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to, you're thinking, you don't know a lot about it. If anything, as far as like tracing back, this is not. I would say this is not too hard to remember about your, especially since this is something that you've been told that you would be able to learn eventually on your druidic training. And Toby has heard from other bards that they know that they've known how to do this, and they know a little bit more about this. So this is not, it's not a very high DC, so you know a little bit. I would say the information you can know is that they can, if the person can know that they had to maybe either shrug off or not shrug off something that was challenging their wisdom. I think it's a wisdom check for scrying. Mm-hmm. And if somebody could see invisible things,
it is a wisdom. Yes.
Yeah. If somebody is able to see invisible things, like see invisibility or things like that, or has an artifact,
dead people.
They would see a sentry, like an arcanic sentry, hovering and focusing on the subject of the scrying, but they wouldn't know who it, like it wouldn't know, they wouldn't be able to trace it back necessarily.
Right.
As far as my understanding. Yeah.
Well, Toby's going to say he knows some bards who have done this spell before, gives you the context, but Toby also knows that bards are bullshitters. So he's it's all secondhand.
Yeah.
So, but I have never heard of anybody getting a reach back. So we could get some. Toby is going to.
You heard?
Yeah.
I would say Toby has heard people like maybe looked at the wrong person that was too powerful, and they go and look at it and like try to make them think that they know who it is. But they've said that, like, they've scared that one time, but they noticed that usually that person is bullshitting or guessing.
Yes.
Based on context, like, oh, this person is obviously the person that's crying on me,
But Smoke on the Street says that the people who know more about what they're looking for have a better chance of finding what they're looking for.
Yeah. So in other words, you kind of like gather that if you're, being either secondhand or firsthand or familiar with the target affects the save modifier, and having certain objects.
It's kind of like those stories of people teleporting places and ended up halfway inside of a wall. Like, you got to know where you're going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been in one of the Dungeons and Dragons movies.
Yes.
Pretty sure.
I has to be. That's how teleporting goes.
Yes.
The one with the dragon lich. That was the good one.
That's also how Crypt of the Necro Dancer goes. But
that was the good one.
Scrying does not seem like it's going to be in the cards for us, folks. I think we're going to probably have to wait for this devil to come to us. Or for the devil to forget about us.
Yeah.
So does Summer end up researching in the devil section of the Cobalt Soul? Or?
Yeah, the Dewey Decimal System, going to the devil section with all your devil research books. Devil Digest.
Devil's a Dewey.
Yes.
Dewey Decimal .666.
Yes.
No, I mean, personally, I feel like it might be helpful to spend like at least an hour just kind of looking for some, basic information, just to make sure we've got our basic information covered. It sounds like some of you guys might know a little bit about it, but
like with our powers combined, we know some. So the more education you can do, the better.
Yeah. I will say, yeah, go ahead and give me I'll just say like I'll let you help Mortal. And
Yeah.
Because Mortal's
Yeah.
gonna be like the one
Deus
that knows
Ex Tutorga.
Yeah.
Because
Tortuga.
it's what makes sense that he would be like,
I don't know
oh,
how
I can,
turtle
he's
translates into Spanish, but I want it to the way that I just did.
I'm looking for that Devils for Dummies book, so it's got the best information.
Yeah, he's gonna do an Arcana check with advantage with your assistance. Just for the heck of it.
Oh,
damn double. Yeah, with your assistance, he pulls out the right books. He pulls out several like fundamentals of understanding their things like covering some of the things that Toby recounted. That they were, devils are vicious creatures capable of attacking, killing each other, others for essentially no reason. However, they hated being the target of misery themselves. This led to a trait, their extreme vindictiveness combined with lack of ability to accept their mistakes. They had an instinct to look for others to blame when they suffered setbacks and had the drive to exact vengeance against whoever they held responsible, even when they were demoted to a weaker station. For example, like a grandson or granddaughter of a dead being who was indirectly involved with the demotion of a devil was an eligible target for the demoted devil, even after it managed to be re-promoted. It could be that petty. They often delegated their work to others. So they like henchmen. They like having henchmen and people doing their bidding. This does not mean that they were lazy. That, however, is a primary trait for devil is ambition. They're definitely ambitious. They're constantly looking for ways to like get up in their hierarchy or in stature wherever they're at. Their own desire. They try rise up hierarchy to modify rules in a way that suited them. Things like that. I'm certainly. It's almost like I'm reading the Forgotten Realms fandom wiki or something.
I love it's educational.
This is a root of their dedication to the cause of lawful evil. They have strict guidelines and rules, but they tend to want to modify those rules to suit themselves. They have a tendency to act on emotion.
What else does Elminster have to say?
Yes. Especially when it comes to vengeance, and they can act in ways that are detrimental to their ultimate goal of the death in pursuit of vengeance.
They are vengeance. They are the night.
Yeah, and other things about that you read up is just confirms things you already experienced, is that they have magic. They're really good at, especially so most devils, they have a grasp of like illusion abilities and magic and to confusion and
Brett will say he's had some bad experiences in D&D with some devils.
Yes. So they then that from that lines up with the experience of like how he was mostly hanging back. You remember how mostly he was hanging back at his desk and trying to like charm people, hit you with magic while his guards did all the work of being on the front. So this all lines up, and especially trying to do charm person, things like that, and the fact that disguising himself, things like that. They and a lot of things like that. A lot of things, not much. That's pretty much kind of what you get, like the main beats. A lot of just reiterating what you already discussed with Toby, and what he recalled. But kind of like just lined out in more specific academic ways, and that's pretty much kind of what you're able to like skim through, and like that, like it takes you like a couple hours, I'll say, like skimming through all these different books, you and Mortal, comparing notes and comparing that information. Just try not to take too much time, but you guys kind of like go over and find some of that quick information that seems the most useful.
Cool. Thank you.
You figured you probably like knowing anything more would probably involve sitting down and actually like studying.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No.
But this is you're finding like you're reading a lot of first 2 chapters of like first chapter or 2 of books. Just like, okay, what do they just start you off?
Right.
Looking at the table of contents and just skipping to a section.
You find looking through the glossary.
The Pearson education books of this realm have all of their content in the first 3 chapters, because they know the teachers work slow.
And have a hand sketched drawing of an aardvark on the front for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh God! Oh yes. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and you notice
Toby says Toby's like, I ain't afraid of no devil.
Yeah, when you look at the table of contents, you notice that you can probably find things on like combat strategies and tactics and exact details on their hierarchy and all that stuff, but that'd be like looking past all that.
This book says all I have to do is play the best song in the world.
You don't even have to remember it after.
A violin or something?
Yeah, no. This is one that said just watch out for the whip crack with his swampy tail.
Okay.
But then the beast will be done.
Oh, look at that kitten. Oh, look at that kitten. Oh, we passed out again.
Yes.
Oh.
Kitten Cam. We've had the most cuteness in a episode in which we discussed the machinations of devils.
Yep.
It's the dichotomy of it all.
I was gonna say it offsets, right? Like that's how it works.
Yes.
Like there's adorable, but there's also, devils.
Yes.
But the stabilizer of the 2 is the grow tent behind your head.
Yeah.
So it's the glue that sets everything together.
All right,
it's the suspension that keeps this mayo.
Yeah. So what are you guys gonna do?
I would like to note she went to bed and it's closed because she knows my ass ain't doing it.
I'm wondering if we need to stay somewhere for the night, because I feel like it's probably like late afternoon. I don't know.
Aren't we on a time crunch for leaving?
I don't know. Are we? I didn't think we were.
Like you don't want to take too much time, especially since there's
time is not on our side.
You figure you don't want to take too much time because you don't know that they're probably not gonna be able to wait too long at your village. They're gonna be done, studying at some point, or they're probably gonna leave at some point.
And also, isn't our ride paid for?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably. I'm okay with going to the village now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I have strengthened my brain enough to at least be somewhat prepared. Toby advises we all expect there to be something unexpected.
I was getting a little ham and cheese sandwich.
Oh.
It's a sin to brag. Oh, it is a little.
Well, there's.
Great. I've been hungry for the past hour, and
oh no.
Well, it's salami.
Oh damn!
I have a cold cut combo.
I've got cured meats. I'm bragging to everybody. I'm Petey. I am jealous as well. I live in paradise where it's beautiful every day, and I also have sandwiches.
What kind of bread is that?
Looks like a little Cuban sandwich roll. A Cuban bread
is it
roll.
unleavened bread?
It was.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's Cuban bread, isn't it?
Because
fucking
It's of course.
It's like, but it's Cuban bread, but in like a little roll form. So.
Yeah.
So you can make little
like
sandwiches.
the squishy baguette. Yeah.
Baguette.
Yeah.
But it's like a little.
Somebody touching my baguette.
But yeah,
that's right.
And it was panini
I will
pressed.
only say there's only one baked good of French origin that I will speak correctly. Quote, and that is croissant.
Before you, just on a tangent, as I chew.
Yep.
At work, I found something that has been now a new addiction, which is croissant toast, which is a loaf of bread, but that's croissant, but in loaf form, and it's sliced
St.
up.
Louis
my God.
And it's sliced
Whoa.
so that you can toast it. And it's like, it smells super, when you toast it, it smells super buttery and nice. And
so that cures the fluffiness to make it so you can spread something on it without it just like,
when you toast it, it's, it's so good.
Cheese
yeah, the
stick.
toasting would really make that,
Your walrus tusks of cheese sticks.
Yeah.
You know, like through the tomes,
croissant
bringing
toast.
all
If he was going to talk about food,
croissant toast, Drew. Croissant toast.
I highly recommend
of course,
it.
you're
If you go
eating a
to,
mozzarella.
I'm not saying I work at Whole Foods, but if you go to Whole Foods, they might have it.
It's a good place to find it. Maybe.
It's a good place to find it. It's
I-
croissant
cheese.
toast.
I have string cheese. I have a strawberry cheesecake Philadelphia pack.
Yes.
And if I'm still hungry, a bag of the whole shebangs.
Well,
Nice.
Jesus.
I have
Great.
some Choward's violet flavored. They call them mints.
All I had was a plate of ketchup.
Violet
It's not
flavor?
that good.
That's like that's it's like sadder than rose flavored stuff.
I kind of like them actually.
I don't know what to I don't have a reference other than everything that's like flavored like a flower is always like it tastes like the LaCroix levels of flavor.
Yeah,
It's like it was in the same room as this flavor.
No,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is
My friend
fairly
always described
strong.
LaCroix as somebody ate the fruit and then burped into a Perrier. I'm
Yeah.
Ew.
Fair.
Is it more than that?
I thought it
Oh
was
no, it's a lot more than that.
Oh,
like
cool.
someone
Try, like,
described the taste of
some-
LaCroix to a scientist, and then the scientist like recreated the flavor themselves, like who had never had that flavor.
Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead,
A
Matt.
violet. I'm
If
gonna
you
have
want to try violet, go like you can get creme de violette.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like if you went to a bar that's fancy enough, they might just like give you a little taste.
Isn't creme
So
de
you
violet
could at
in
least just-
aviation?
It is in an aviation.
Ooh,
Why do
nice.
you know this, Drew? You don't even drink.
So, one of
I
my
don't even
favorite
know that.
One of my favorite YouTube channels to like comfort watch
Well,
is How
yeah.
to Drink,
Oh God, is this like
which is just a dude making cocktails and talking about like
yeah.
the history of the cocktail and the science of the cocktail. He's
And
also a
there's-
nerd, so like a lot of it is like, here's a weird like here's all the Fallout like fucking drinks, and here's like
Yeah.
a bunch of other
But here's
bullshit.
don't worry, you will have at least 2 slow-mo shots of ice being cracked per episode,
Yes.
oh
less you not
I-
know what that looks like.
I see you also have watched Greg.
Yeah, and it drives me up a wall.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta, you know what? You gotta have B-roll somehow. You just gotta have some kind
Yeah.
of B-roll.
fellow D&D Twitch guy, Greg,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
booze hound from How to Drink.
Aubrey,
God.
speaking, now we're getting our wrestling side, but Aubrey Edwards, I know she hawks some faux cocktail stuff on faux booze, like non-alcoholic faux booze
some
for cocktails.
mocktails.
Yeah, on her Instagram all the time. It's kind of, I think, like I believe that's the only thing she does on Instagram is hawk for that stuff. I forget what it's called. Let me. But yeah, you guys are, as I look that up, let's move forward. And you guys are heading up to the stables, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we are. We are in fact already there.
Yeah. Oh, damn. I forgot about that. Ugh.
Just thinking about Jeff Gersman vaping vodka.
So you guys head
I'm still laughing at the
I got Petey
revelation.
going. There we go. My technique worked.
Sorry. I just realized that's the alarm for 10:30.
Yeah. You had to get in the golf cart, as mentioned earlier.
Yes.
And ride to left field.
Yes. So you guys head over to the Larboard Light, because that's where you know that it's a stable that heads out to. It's the exit is to the easternmost of Portamale, like up northeasternmost of part of the Larboard Light, and you find the gilded shoes. I say gilded shoes is horseshoes. And you guys walk in, you see quite a bit of activity. It's just like expansive, like this like pretty plain building that's close to like the coast in a way. Close to the docks, but it's in the far more northeast of close to the exit, but not right at the exit. It's like a few buildings. You can see the eastern exit of the Portamale, and kind of like the rest of that stretch of the gilded roadway goes out from there, or at least it joins it out there. And you see this previous building with this like larger like barn, like barnish building, but this expands out far deep in there, and you figure that people are coming in and out of there into the main building, and you see a lot of like stable hands doing their work, putting out. You can see because it's pretty open as far as even from the front door. You can see like all the workers working in there. And putting out food for the horses and things like that. And you see a lot of like beautiful different colored horses. And you see there's not too far from there's an area where like in a fairly open area where there's carts and carriages, a bunch of like carts and carriages and people tending to them and like doing repairs, either people that look like they're stable hands or people that are like carriage drivers, either tending to their own or tending to carriages and carts for people, going back and forth, repairing wheels. Some are loading their whatever they need to load for to head out, things like that, and that's kind of like an open area to like on the other side of the main stable. And you kind of see the main building. It's not a huge, it's a fairly basic, one story, not a very big building. It looks like it's just just one door. It's just like almost like a house, not too big, but it's obviously it's like it has the gilded shoes and a sign up above it, and kind of like gold leaf style like writing, and you guys walk in presumably, and
yes,
and
turn tail and run.
yes. You guys walk in comfortably. There's a place to outside to that you could park. There's a couple of horses stowed outside, like in the front, and a place to stow like your horses. So if you wanted to tie up
any pitchforks,
if you wanted to tie up Chavo.
Tie up Mortal. Yeah, I'm gonna tie up Mortal. Here, Mortal.
Oh, okay.
Here's a feed bag and some water in the trough. If
you wanted to tie up Chavo, and there you can. But
Chavo does not like a gold leaf. Finds it tacky. Let's tie him up.
But you guys walk in and you see let's see. You see a human male, a little bit, let's say middle-aged, average height, kind of like wispy, kind of like graying brown hair, kind of deep eyes, deep sunken eyes, bald up top, with like maybe like some things up out there, fairly clean clothes, with the occasional like maybe some you see that has rough skin, very rough worked hands, wrinkles around the eyes and nose, fairly full beard, like hasn't been shaved in a while. Looks like he every once in a while just either trims or shaves and then doesn't do anything for a while. Almost.
Oh, the slash and burn technique.
Yes. Just like everyone's like, I guess I should shave, and then like doesn't really think about it for a while, and
Stretchy.
you see that maybe fairly like there's some dirt on his clothes and some dirt like the day's work dirt on his clothes and like maybe under his fingernails, and he's at his desk like jotting some things down, and there's like he looks up there like, well, welcome to the Gilded Shoes. I'm Tamron. What can I help you guys out with?
Hey, Tamron. We have a letter from Midrin Jaskier giving us safe passage to Gwarden. Please and thank you.
I presume you had him the letter.
Yes.
I wonder, did you ever open the letter? Or actually, he showed it to you.
Yeah. He wrote it in front of me.
Yeah, he wrote it in front of you.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I need to roll like an insight. Be like, did I miss something?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Open it up and it's full of anthrax.
Yes.
Oh.
Ah! It's like
Probably in D&D, anthrax is like getting off easy.
Yeah. He's like, okay.
I mean, we got antibiotics in fantasy world.
Yes. Well, he kind of looks over.
Antiviral.
So, you've talked to Midrin? Is he well?
He is, yeah. Talked to him myself.
Okay. That's good to hear. He hadn't been himself lately. I don't know what was going on, but I didn't want to pry. It seemed odd. Let me see. Let me think. Let me look over and see who I've got to help you out with. And he kind of like pulls out a book, like a ledger, and kind of goes to his most recent page, because he kind of has his he pulls his ledger from the side of the table, where he has it closed at the moment. Opens it up with a kind of like a little piece of rope that he has as a bookmark, and kind of like just uses it to kind of go back to where he has it open to. It's like, who's here? Let's see. I know who can help you out. Grung. Grung. That's how you spell it. Grung. Grung. Yeah, she's just made she's about to head out first thing tomorrow. In the morning. She should be getting things ready if you want to meet her, but she seems like the perfect person. She's the most she's the next person kind of like the most ready to head out, and I figure she doesn't have anybody that she's currently assigned to transport. or actually, well, she only has one person. If you guys don't mind, sharing the ride with one other person. He seems like an okay person. It's like a priest from the. I think I remember the sun something sanctuary or something.
Yeah, is it Berlin?
No, I
Just
don't think
the
its
dwarf.
name is Berlin. No,
Okay.
it was a human.
Dusseldorf.
Steg. His name is Steg. He's
Is that 1G or 2Gs?
Is he
I
a
didn't
dinosaur?
ask, but usually from what I remember of that from other people I've heard have that name, it's 1G.
Okay.
Occasionally,
Okay.
somebody will spell it with two G's, because they're a weirdo. But
Snoop Skeggy Dag.
But some, I've only known one other Steg way back in the day, and it was 1G when he spelled it. I didn't really ask this guy, but
Okay.
I think that's how I wrote it down.
Steg.
Okay, so do you have room for, oh gosh, guys, what is it? 5 of us and a goat and a pseudo dragon?
Oh yeah.
Let's
She's
say
got
a
room for
goat.
that. She's got a carriage. She's it's actually her and she's got a co-compatriot. She's kind of the one running things, but she drives the carriage, and she's got a coworker that rides a cart with her as kind of a convoy for like transporting people and cargo and things like that. Let's see. I remember it's usually a couple different people, but I think this time she's with Brock. Brock, that's his name. You'll see them. It's she's a half orc woman, and he's also a half orc. They're a couple of half orcs. Good people. Very, very, very fun people to have around. I think they're good conversation. They're good company. And they'll definitely get you there safe. They've been doing this route for years, so they know this. They know the Gilded Roadway like the back of their hands.
Good to know.
All right.
Do you need any more information from us or anything else?
Everything's covered. From what I can read, I can see this letter. Everything's covered. So you guys are good. Yeah.
Alrighty.
But yeah, if you want to meet them, I think they're out there working on their cart, out past the stables.
Excellent.
Well, you guys don't mind? I've got a lot more paperwork to do, so take care of yourself.
Thank you, Tamron. Appreciate the help.
Yeah. And he kind of just says that and goes over to goes back to his what he was doing, folds up and just kind of like waves and goes, hey,
yeah. Do you guys want to head outside and meet these folks?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we head outside to find these half orcs.
So you head over, you walk past like the stable entrance and like and you walk past like this open area that's kind of like fenced out. It's pretty massive. If you like imagine when when people like in towns when they set up like a food court area or like a food truck area for like an event, and it's pretty massive and it's like in this fenced in area. It's kind of like that, but it's just a bunch of carts and like people working, people hammering, things like that. And you kind of like you look around, you're trying to like see, and like there's like a few half orcs and like and things like that. A few humans, half orcs, elves, like dwarves, all these kinds of people. Like people, some of them are stable hands, some of them are drivers and things like that. And then like in the moment you trying to figure out, you hear like, oh, that's ridiculous. And it's like you see this like infectious loud laugh, and you look over and there's this female half orc, muscular, strong, strong of stature, tall, but with long hair, with fairly like not huge but good tusks that are fairly sharp but not too sharp. You know, with this like laugh on her face, and like she's like with another half orc who's like a male half orc man. She kind of has this like long like dark hair, you know, just her standard dark hair, kind of like tied up into like a little bun at the top, but most of, like some of it at the top into like a little tail, but most of it kind of stringing down with like some like beads and like decorative like feathers and things like that. A few like tattoos on her arm, like a scroll down there, maybe some scars on like her wrists and that. He's like a little bit shorter than her, oddly enough. Short hair, kind of like just like chuckling, but not as like outwardly as she is, but smiling and chuckling with her, and like he almost a little embarrassed. Like maybe he just said something he did, you know, like was like that he realized was kind of funny, but was, you know, maybe a little embarrassing for him. And like they're laughing, and yeah, they fit the description possibly of the two people you're looking for. Yeah,
You're off towards them.
Like as you approach, they turn to you like, and she speaks up automatically. New friends. Hello. Can I help you with anything? What can I help you?
Yes,
with?
I am.
Pause out of character. Does anyone else want to lead this conversation?
Possibly the one with high charisma. Possibly.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Hey, I'm
if you want.
Hi, I'm Toby. How's it going? Hi, nice to meet you.
Toby, nice to meet you too as well. Toby, I'm Grung.
Lucius.
Lucius. I'm Grung. This is Brock.
Toby does that as well.
Lucius.
You're Toby. You're Lucius. Ooh, got the good stuff. I can see that.
Luscious.
And who might you all be?
Wind and Summer. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, well.
Well, Mortal. Mortal, the turtle. I like it. Great. Awesome. You, half elf. What's your name?
Solera.
What the hell?
Wonderful. Sorry. Elven friend. And you got a pseudo dragon? Is it?
Indeed. Indubitably.
That's
Sue?
awesome. Sue. Good name. Does it do any tricks?
It can get squished, and then that never happened magically.
Wow. It was a pretty sturdy little pseudo dragon. I can see that.
He dang.
Well,
Dang.
yeah. You got that goat there. Oh, wonderful. Well, wonderful to meet y'all. But is there anything I can help you all with?
You remember a guy named Mega the Brash?
No. I mean, I remember Mega, some weirdo meathead named Mega that I knew when I was a kid, but nah.
Okay, just wondering. He was just some sailor. No biggie.
Okay. Yeah. I don't really know anybody there by the name. At least not lately.
Hey guys, it's cool.
Yeah, so we booked passage on your guys' cart specifically, so we'll be heading out with you in the morning, and we just wanted to introduce ourselves.
Oh, wonderful. Good.
And we just did. Hey, how's it going?
Tamron got me. Yes. Okay. Perfect. I can always trust Tamron to get me passengers. I imagine he mentioned that it's not going to be just you guys.
Oh.
I think.
We heard there's about one other person coming.
Yeah, he's just
at least.
Yeah.
Could that be?
Yeah, it's a human. It's a human guy, a little human guy.
Little human
name's Steg. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Was that 1G or 2Gs? Do you know?
Yeah.
I remember his when he wrote up his work, it was 1G.
Oh.
Okay, I didn't want to know if it was Steg or if it was Steg. Just wanted to make sure. You know?
Yeah. I don't know.
I've heard only weird people use 2Gs, but you gotta ask.
I don't know. It's like I don't know much about
It's the old country spelling.
I don't know. I don't know much about the human spelling, human name spelling, and things like that.
What do I know either? I make it all up.
But hey, I whatever people say their names are, I just say, hey, that's your name.
People say I'm a halfling. I'm a holdling.
I'm just trying. I'll just listen. Like, hey, that's your name. Those are your pronouns. I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Oh, it's clarifying.
Yeah,
not judgment.
Exactly. But yeah, seems all right. Seems like a chill guy. So it seems like we're gonna have a great trip. We're gonna start fairly early. I would say just before dawn.
Certainly not ominous that we have a single lone.
Yeah, I was leaving fairly quickly, so I was glad he was Tamron was getting was able to get a full cart from full carriage for me.
Lucky us.
But yeah, he's just heading up to Gordon.
He doesn't get the aisle seat.
But yeah,
Toby gets the aisle seat and he stretches his legs out.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the old girl right here. She's sturdy. She's great. We got 4 horses that are gonna be driving this one. Brock's gonna be Brock's gonna be hanging back behind us in our cart. We've there's not a lot of room.
One of the horsemen named Arn.
We've got
Ricky.
Yeah, tomorrow morning I'll introduce you to all the horses. They're lovely. But yeah, Brock's gonna be hanging behind us and driving the cart. We're gonna head up to along the Gilded Roadway, fairly steady pace, but we're not gonna be really just understand we're not gonna be going too fast. We're gonna try to keep a calm pace. It's the safest.
That'll help for Chavo.
Yeah. Well, but it'll be nice. There's going to be some really great stops along the way. If you haven't seen like the views along the Gilded Roadway, there's beautiful views. You're going to get a lot of great sightseeing. We're going to stop at a couple of campsites. A couple of bigger campsites, especially one along a really beautiful pond that connects to the river up there. That is just beautiful.
Gonna do some boondocking.
yeah, we're probably gonna get it. Get to get some R&R along the way. That's the beautiful thing about kind of like this path is that you have to stop. You have
us adventurers, we don't get out enough and don't sleep under the stars enough.
Yeah.
We'll enjoy this a bunch.
Yes. Yeah.
Just curious. What time of the month is it? Is it like what phase are we in? Are we like waxing gibbous? Is it like
right.
like are we anywhere near like some like campground shenanigans?
You and Summer keep good journals for your
cool.
So that it's
I don't ask knowingly.
Yeah.
I'm just asking as metagaming.
Yeah.
It's definitely waning.
Okay. So yeah. And if you can even look at the calendar on the game, but it's Sidon Star, Sidon Star, Sidon Star. It's the summer right now. It's a weekend. As far as like you just had a full moon last week.
Okay, so
like a week ago. So it's waning gibbous.
So we're not gonna have like a Okay.
Yes.
Just fingers crossed. Weird things happen when the moon's full, and for some reason the support is slim. I don't know why. I haven't noticed, but like for some reason, I feel like when the full moon's there, I'm ill prepared.
Yes.
So.
How long will it take to get to Gordon?
Should be give or take a couple of weeks. It's pretty.
Not a
2 weeks.
Damn. Whoa, I thought it was gonna be like 2 days.
That's how long it takes to get your ass to Mars. Like that's a long time. We're gonna have a road trip, folks.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it's like where's the random encounter table? Like here we go.
In here.
Yeah, this sounds like we just the tower adventure that's actually a road.
Yes.
But here we go.
Yes. It's
gonna be
fun. But yeah, it's gonna we'll make sure
Don't get
it goes by
dysentery.
quickly. Yeah. We've got plenty of supplies.
Fun, yeah. Like you make
If we
it
have to
fun
ford
time
a
for
river,
us.
I'm gonna shit myself.
Yep. We've got
Oh my God. Dysentery. Hey, but
Don't dysentery.
some of us,
Yeah,
some of us on our squad are musicians, so we can have a fun time.
Some of us are.
Yeah.
Pseudo Dragon can hum a good tune.
That sounds fantastic. I definitely will have a few requests of you guys, and know a few tunes that I'd love to.
We know all the standards.
I'll have to apologize ahead of time. I might find myself singing along a few times. And I don't have the best singing voice, but hopefully you guys don't hold it against me.
Hey, as long as you're not charging, you're not stepping on anyone's toes.
Exactly.
And, sometimes people think they're not good singers when in actuality they really are.
Yes. Well,
They just
The only thing that makes professional is that you get paid.
Yes. Well, we'll see. Well, I guess that's it. Anything else you guys needed to know about the carriage? I mean, you see the carriage, and it's a nice, sturdy carriage. So you see that with on top in the seating area up top, and like the seating inside, you'll be able to fit everybody in there, and you have places for your stuff and your backpacks and like the back, and you see like they have the cart over to the side, and they have stuff that they're already loading, like supplies and a few crates that you presume
Toby cast Tensor's floating suspension.
Yes.
And,
yes, and then and it looks like a sturdy, comfortable ride as far as you can tell.
As people who have been on the road, we think that it is outfitted for 2 weeks.
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
It is outfitted. It like you can tell that this is something that they're preparing it that does this a lot. Like does this type of trip a lot.
We're taking the mega bus to Chicago.
Yes.
$50, 7 days a week.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Let's do it.
Okay, cool.
I, for one, am ready to annoy people for 2 weeks inside of this carriage.
well,
The dream come true for
yes,
Toby.
yes. Well, I look forward to having you with us. We'll just be by here first thing tomorrow morning, early, right at dawn, I would say, and be ready with your stuff, and we'll ride out.
Cool.
All right, wonderful. You guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Take care of yourselves.
Toodly doodly.
And go.
Yes. And as you guys, presumably, you guys head off out of the stables, and head off.
I am going to remark that I think we're going to be okay with some. Did you see the hands on every single one of those people? Like, the one thing we don't have is muscle, or like that kind of muscle. I think we'll be okay. Yeah. Devil or no devil.
Yeah.
We got backup.
Isn't Lucius kind of ripped? There was like
but his muscles are for like work. He's not lean. For show. Yeah, he's not busting through lean, doors or bending bars.
I mean, he could probably bend some bars.
He's not going to monkey grip 2 great axes at somebody.
Yes. No. But yeah.
It'd be cooler if he did.
But as you guys head off to presumably just find food and a place to stay for the night before getting ready for the tomorrow, that's where we'll finish this episode for the night.
And he said if it weren't for that horse.
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys are now ready to head off. And we'll be back next time.
I wouldn't have spent that year in Bard College.
Yeah, we'll be back next time with more of the shenanigans of the D&D. This time it'll be 2 weeks from now. So
2 weeks. So I hear that's about as long as it takes to get from here to there.
Yes, exactly. So a couple in 2 weeks, we'll be back with another edition of Through the Tomes. Otherwise, keep an eye out on Rebelli TV for more streams and shenanigans and fun times, including Daisy and mine's Witcher stream, as well as Record Breakers, our music podcast. What is the... Holy crap, the stream just locked up big time. Holy crap, hopefully the people can hear me. But Record Breakers, our music podcast, and all of our other streams, including getting back into the Mass Effect stream. I kind of took a week off of streaming just because I got sick. But we'll get back into the swing of things. I need to hop back into the Tunic stream because I figured out something that I was too dumb to notice when I was I quit out last time. So
now
we'll be back to that.
Greenick.
Yes,
I was gonna say that's the base level Tunic.
Yeah, that's the I was talking about this earlier. Yeah, you are getting authentic Tunic because like everybody gets that like light bulb. Yes. That light bulb comes on, and that is a temporary light bulb.
Yes,
it's like I've only ever had the light bulb go like this for Portal.
Yes,
but like this is like the pre like walkthrough. Before it's the part of the zeitgeist.
Yes,
like being like, oh, I'm a dumbass. Is the Tunic way.
Yes, but yeah, that is the shenanigans you can find on Rebelli TV on Twitch, and you can find all the VODs on YouTube as Rebelli TV as well. Find us at thetomes.com or through thetomes.com, rebelli.net for this and other shows. Find everything there on our socials. Follow us there. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Promise I will eventually have a podcast feed. Maybe, I don't know, sometime. We'll figure it out. But yeah, check us out, everything. Do all the things. Until next time, hasta los huevos.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Annyeong.
Hashtag find Luke.
Fighting. And the camera worked the whole time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Woo.